from Belfast, and it's time to catch a train heading down to Dublin from Grand Central Station. I don't think it'll be an enterprise set because that doesn't really fit in with our schedule, but it's going to be fun all the same. So we're going to get into Grand Central, get our tickets and get on board.
And after going the wrong direction, we eventually found how to get into the station. Belfast Grand Central Station replaced the former Great Victoria Street railway station and the Europa Buscentre. It had a phased opening from the 8th of September 2024 with the first bus service to Dublin. The first rail service departed the station on the 13th of October 2024, also to Dublin. So I had booked tickets in advance online, and it was a simple process to get them printed off ready for our departure.
Please take your tickets.
Simple as that.
And it's probably worth noting that Grand Central is a quiet station, so there won't be announcements made every 10 seconds. So instead, make good use of the departures board, the customer information screens, and there are plenty of members of staff on hand to help. And if this video is your sort of thing, why not consider subscribing to the channel? If you've already done so, thanks very much. And if not, why not? Making our way up to this upper level, we were provided with the promise of a brewdog, but it was closed, probably to do with licensing laws, and also an overview of the station. And in terms of the name of the station, well, I definitely approve. As someone who was born in Belfast, I always thought that the previous Belfast Central Station was somewhat optimistically entitled because it was anything but central. It's now Lanyon Place, and this is definitely Grand Central Station Belfast style.
So Stephen is just taking a comfort break, so that gives me a few seconds just to talk, well, maybe a few seconds, maybe a bit longer, to talk about Grand Central Station. I love it. It's a really spacious, bright, beautiful transport hub. Everything's really well laid out, easy to find, plenty of retail outlets if that's your thing, and yeah, well done TransLink. This is absolutely great. Look forward to being back here to try out maybe a bus journey in the future, but yeah, absolutely loving it.
And after what seemed like an eternity, I was finally reunited with Stephen, and we made our way to platform 6 for our 11 o'clock departure to Dublin Connolly, due to arrive at 13:13. The Enterprise service, as the Belfast to Dublin route is known, started out on the 11th of August 1947 as a non-stop express service. This was to compete with a Dublin to Belfast air service. However, today it's no longer the Enterprise Express. We have intermediary stops at Portadown, Newry, Dundalk and Drogheda. Although interestingly, today's journey, even with those additional stops, will take around the same time as the original express service. And doing the hard yards today will be this Class 22,000 INTERCITY RAILCAR. And we're in Coach C, which has your standard 2-2 layout. And bang on 11 o'clock, we're away. As we head through South Belfast, we pass the home of Linfield Football Club and the Green and White Army, Northern Ireland. South of Lisburn Station, a section of single track departs the Belfast to Dublin main line. This is the former Lisburn to Antrim line, which closed to passengers in 2003. The line is still maintained, and a feasibility study has been carried out to see if there's any potential for the line to reopen, with the possibility of a railway station being constructed to serve Belfast International Airport. We shall see. 30 minutes into our journey and we're approaching our first stop at Portadown. And it's here that there are further proposals for a line to reopen, the line from Portadown to Armagh, which closed in 1957. It's also been suggested that this line could continue on into Cavan and Mullingar in the Republic of Ireland. So once again, we shall watch this space and see what happens. You never think it will happen to you, but it happened to me on our approach to Portadown. Yeah, I finally realised that I had become a grumpy old man, and I'll explain why. I like music. I like listening to music. But it was here that I realised that I cannot stand listening to other people's music when it's turned up to full volume with the rest of the carriage obliged to listen to. So I presume this is me becoming a grumpy old man, or is it just bad manners to have to subject other people to what you want to listen to? I don't know. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. And as if loud music wasn't enough, there was more drama to unfold on this railway journey. Nearing Newry, we cross the 18-arch Craigmore viaduct, which takes us across the valley of the Camloch River. Construction on the viaduct began in 1849 and it officially opened in 1852. The highest of the arches is some 126 feet, which makes Craigmore the highest viaduct in Ireland. Now, I think it's time to catch up with little brother Stephen. Now, Stephen is notoriously soft-spoken, but we're going to try a seat review anyway. It'll not be in the style of a Mrs. Tim's travel seat review, but we'll do our best. So in my view, the seat is very comfy, it's well padded, it's got this nice leather effect look. All in all, perfectly fine. What about Stephen?
Hello, Stephen. How is the seat?
I'm not a big fan of this seat. It's too firm. It hurts my bottom and my legs. So, I kind of think for a longish journey, the seat should be more comfortable.
It's not a fan. Thanks for sharing.
And remember, if ever you're having a bad day, you can always check out this video and think of this. I mentioned earlier that there would be more drama, and that drama is unfolding behind us. So whilst we admire the beautiful views from the window, there's a conversation taking place between the train manager and some passengers. Those passengers want to travel to Dublin, but have purchased tickets to Newry. So he is informing them that they will be getting off at the next station, which is Dundalk. As our journey continues, we pass Newry Castle, which was built in 1601, a relic from the 9 Years' War, a war I had never heard of. Now admittedly this isn't the most thorough train review, but around the seat, well, overhead you've got space for your luggage, and if you're a bit of an egomaniac you can see your name in the reservation display. Oh look, there it is. Our first stop across the border is at Dundalk Clark, and this is a very pleasant station indeed in my opinion. I love the yellow brickwork. In fact, I'm reliably informed that Dundalk station employs polychromatic brickwork. Notice also the preserved Dundalk Central signal box. That's an absolute gem. There's also a small museum at the station, and it's at Dundalk that the individuals who had purchased tickets to Newry did in fact leave the train. So let's talk about price. An adult single from Belfast to Dublin cost £14.99, which I think is incredible value for money. Now if you're interested, a single from Belfast to Newry cost £14.50. So for the sake of 49p, was it really worth it, lads? I don't know. You may also be wondering, Tim, is there a toilet on board? Yes, there is.
Unlock lock, that's easy. One of them, one of them. Plenty toilet roll. Water doesn't work, dryer doesn't work, soap does work. Classic loo review.
And while the train was stopped at Drogheda, a visit to the buffet car enabled us to do our bit for local industry. The overhead electric cables and the dark rolling stock make it clear that we're in the outskirts of Dublin, and because I've got quite a short window of opportunity between getting off this train and jumping onto a bus to go to Dublin Airport, I thought I would do my summing up now. So all in all, I was really impressed by this service. First of all, the price, £14.99 for an adult single. That's incredible value for money. The train was comfortable, it was quiet, the ride quality was really good. I don't think you can fault it. In addition to the buffet car, there was also a trolley service, which was nice, and first class was available as well, although personally I think I would rather try that on one of the enterprise sets, but that's just me. Most impressively, and most importantly, as you can hear from the hubbub in the background, the train was absolutely crammed, and whilst that can sometimes make it difficult for filming, it certainly added to the experience and showed what a useful and vital rail link this is. So that was really, really pleasing. So all in all, massive thumbs up. I will need to try the bus between Belfast and Dublin, or indeed Dublin and Belfast, but that's a video for another day. So I'll leave you with our approach into Connolly Station.
Right, welcome to Dublin. We've now got to run and catch a bus to get a flight. So, yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. it.